The sweet sounds of Athens. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Runaway with Liz. I traveled to Athens, Greece to run the Athens Marathon. This is the third video in this series sharing my sightseeing journey, and there is still more to explore in this city. In this video, we'll explore Philopopos Park, check out yet another cool museum, see the layers of history exposed during the Athenian morning commute, and see the original modern Olympic Stadium, along with some excellent views of the city. Good morning. It is my last morning at the marvelous Athens. I'm switching hotels today, but I'm still staying in Athens. It's just to kind of shake it up and get a change of scenery. But I've got my room service breakfast that I am going to enjoy, and then I'm going to pack up, and then I'm going to see if they won't keep my bags for a few hours while I sightsee before checking at the other place. Our first stop is the Museum of Greek Folk Musical Instruments, a small but well-organized and exhibited museum highlighting Greek folk music. Afterwards, I briefly stopped at Areopagus Hill, a scrambling lookout which had lots of litter. It's just like kind of gross up here with all of the trash and stuff, but great city views. This historic outcrop was where homicide, treason, and corruption trials were held, and is where the Apostle Paul is said to have given the Areopagus sermon in 51 AD, written about in the book of Acts. I actually didn't know any of that stuff while I was on the hill. Maybe I should have taken 20 seconds to read the informational plaque. But it actually didn't take as much time as I thought to get up here. There's just like a set of metal stairs straight from the road. So it was really easy to get up here, but then once you are up here, then it's pretty uneven terrain. So if you have any sort of trouble walking on uneven surface, there's a little cement level path, but maybe stick to that. The agora right below. This is where, when I was down there before, I looked up and I was like, how did those people get up here? And now I know. I then went to Philopopos Hill, a large park with a number of archaeological sites and scenic views. I thought I was at the Philopopos Hill before, but I was not. I must have just been at like just an outlook area, but I am here now. In ancient times, this park was called Hill of the Muses. Ancient Greeks believed the muses of art, music, and poetry resided on this hill. Let's explore. My first stop here was Socrates' prison. Despite being called Socrates' prison, it's not actually believed anymore that these caves were the prison where Socrates spent his final days, or his execution where he drank hemlock tea surrounded by his supportive followers. This definitely feels like a place that would be haunted. Socrates? Are you there? Spooky. There's a little dog up there. You're too close to the edge, little dog. I made my way up the hill to the Philopopos monument remains, which was built between 114 and 116 AD in honor of the Syrian-born prince and Roman consul Gaius Julius Antiochus Philopopos. Another site is a small Byzantine church called the Church of Agios Dimitrios Lombardiarsis. An Ottoman commander planned to bomb this church in the mid-1600s, but his plan was foiled when lightning struck his gunpowder storage and destroyed his cannons and killed him, which is why the church is called Lombardiarsis, a corruption of Bombardier. Wow, there are just so many good Acropolis views up here. It's just like everywhere you turn, bam, 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 there's another Acropolis view. Another cool spot to see is the Pinka, or Pinks, where Greece's first Democratic Congress used to meet. This was where the first ever Democratic Congress would meet, and they cut this theater into the hill, and it could accommodate 10,000 people in 508 BC. See, the steps are just cut into the hill. Orators, Bema. I better get an Acropolis view with this. After I checked into my new hotel, I walked to the Benaki Museum, which features historical items ranging from the Stone Age all the way to the 19th century. The collection is exhibited in a 19th century neoclassical mansion, and there was way more here than I expected. I spent 2 hours here and I did not budget enough time to properly see everything. Musical Instrument Museum this morning. This museum is bigger than I thought it was going to be. They close in like 30 minutes. It's a lot more rooms than I thought it was going to be. So I'm kind of breezing through these last rooms, which is a shame because they're the ones full of fun costumes. I think there's even like a whole nother floor. A bird pooped on my backpack today. Luckily, I have this cool new spare backpack. Thank you, Athens Marathon, for your sweet swag. It came in handy. Athens Cathedral right now, and I thought I would pop in and see if the museum was open, and it was not open. I don't know what their hours are. I thought they were open until 6, but then the other one time that I went in there, they were closed around 5 p.m. I'm slowly making my way towards the stadium this morning, but I might stop in the Syntagma Metro because I think there's an archaeological exhibit there of some ruins that were dug up when they were making the metro. So we'll check that out. So I'm in Syntagma Square, and this whole wall behind me is the archaeological section that was exposed when they were, I'm assuming it was exposed when they were building the metro. They've just left it all completely preserved, it looks like. Maybe they've filled in some spots with some cement or something, but the different layers are labeled. So up here you have an early Christian grave, and down here, the Airae riverbed. And up on top you can see the cistern of the Ottoman period. Oh, and look at this, a road. The road to Mesogaia, I have no idea what that means. Gosh. And over here, surprise, a dead body. It's a little bit morbid to me that all of the commuters in Athens are just walking past this dead body, this exposed dead body every day. And they probably don't think twice about it. Poor guy or lady. 4th century BE. And it's not the only graves, there's tons of graves. Here we have the pit of the Pisistrated Aqueduct, first half of the 5th century BC. Wild. Oh, check it out. Some terracotta pipes of the Pisistrated Aqueduct, first half of the 5th century BC. And we know this by now, don't we? Isn't it Ionic? Fragment of a mosaic floor, end of the 4th, beginning of 5th century AD. I think mosaic stuff is so pretty. It's just like a very effective look. I have to admit, I didn't know what to expect here, but this is kind of a neat exhibit. Because sometimes, you know, free exhibits aren't too much, but this is actually very, very interesting and neat. The way it is set up and the way that they've just left the wall the way it is and labeled all of the different layers and all of the different things that it was used for over the centuries. Like, oh my gosh, can you even imagine what's under the ground anywhere in the world. Probably just lots of dead bodies.
Slowing down, something is calling from underground. Hey, I didn't notice. Hey, I didn't know.
I am now just outside of Syntagma Square. I am walking through the National Garden. It's this very, very big garden actually. It was built or initially planted in 1839 as a royal garden for the Queen, and it was opened as a public garden in the 1920s. And it's just very quiet here, quiet and relaxing, very leisurely. If I'd known this was here, I could have gotten some warm-up shakeout runs in before the marathon, but oh well. I finally made my way to the Panathenaic Stadium. Competitive events have been held here at this site since the 6th century BC, and the first stadium here was built around 330 BC for the Panathenaic Games, held in honor of the goddess Athena. The stadium was rebuilt with marble in the 2nd century AD and then restored for the first Olympic Games in 1896. These are the thrones built for the king and queen. I'm in the Cave of the Fates. An important update on the Great Drain. It runs right underneath this corridor that I'm kind of walking along, and it hasn't been updated or maintained in like 1800 years, but for the past 1800 years it has still functioned and been utilized. These steps are absolutely grandfathered in. Like, look at these. And check that out, another Acropolis view. We love that. I don't remember if they touched on this with the audio tour, but the acoustics in here are really, really good. Like, there's, I want to say it's like a French high school basketball team or something like that down there, and their coach, I can hear their coach so clearly from the very top step. So I am here at the Panathenaic Stadium, and this is definitely worth a visit, I think, even if you're not into sports and stuff, but especially if you're into sports or the Olympics in general. It's 10 euros to get in here, and that includes a pretty decent audio guide. It's about 40 minutes long, maybe. You have to return it within an hour. And there's also a museum, a little museum on the Olympics that I have not been to yet, but I'm going to go to. And you can run up and down the stairs. You kind of have free reign here, basically. It's pretty neat. All right, and I think we're gonna make our way down and check out the museum. Down the stairs we go. And I learned through the audio guide that some of the stones, obviously not all of the stones, but some of the stones used during Reconstruction are original. Oh my God, doesn't it just look like a drop-off here? These stairs. This is where the plebes sat. It's a really small museum with mainly just torches and posters of the Olympic Games past. And I didn't see anything about the 1908 Olympics, where one of the runners showed up late and ended up running in his regular clothes and just cut the sleeves and the pants off to make more of a t-shirt and shorts. So yeah, a little disappointing. Good morning. It's my last day in Athens, and this morning I'm going up. I can't remember how to say the name of this hill, but it's this. But I'm going up this path towards a church that's at the very top of this hill. I sort of thought I'd see a funicular, but I think I missed the turn towards that station, so I guess I'm going up with the stairs. Take a view. Look, prickly pear. Aloe vera and prickly pear. It's like, is it tropical? Is it desert? We don't know. Everyone's scratching their names into the cactus. Feels rude somehow. Almost to the top. Stay up here until I'm not dripping sweat anymore. All right, going back down. Just very pretty. There is the Acropolis, the Panathenaic Stadium. Some really great views up here. I think it's well worth it. And it's very, very steep, but there is the funicular, which I missed the station, but there's definitely some stairs that you're gonna have to do no matter what, I think. Yeah, definitely not a terrible way to spend my last day in Athens.
And that does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, maybe give the video a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe to the channel Runaway with Liz, where I share videos about traveling, running, and just general good times. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey there, what's that sound? Something is calling from underground. Hey, I did